everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And this is the Street Woman Fighter Season 1 Mega Crew Challenge. So I'm going to take a look at all 7 Mega Crews from the first season of Street Woman Fighter. I have not seen any of them, nor do I know who won within the Mega Crew Challenge specifically. So this is going to be really fun for me. I'm very excited about it, and you know, let's just go ahead and let's get into it. Wow, they went cheer mode on you.
Give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door to spread.
Yeah, Republic uses in season 2.
Go hard getting busy with it. But I got such a
or they use the artist. I don't know if it's the same track.
And right, can I do it again?
Hey, let's go.
Be the one ending up on his
Hey.
Please.
Woo!
Came out to play. Stay out my way.
Hey.
Whoa. Let it pop. Don't let it go.
Hey.
X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Where am I?
Yeah, I think they use the same artist, but not the same thing. I like the use of those. I love the lighting. Really makes those pop. Hey, I like the track a lot. Hey, look at Arrow. Hey, I like that they integrated some locking here. Oh, I love that! Hey, uses of the jump rope. Okay, I know this is probably a special guest here. I did read on who they had, but she doesn't look super familiar, so I can't pinpoint like who she's necessarily with. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, my note for that though is it can't look like we're waiting for you to do it. It needs to be very much of a surprise. Huh. Some of these cuts are interesting.
Out of your mind. Yes, break it.
Lose it.
Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind.
Lil Jon on the track.
Your mind. Take so many shots.
I don't give a what.
I don't give a what.
I don't give a what. I don't give a what. I don't give a what. I don't give a what.
Let's see how they gotta take it. You gotta take it higher. Let's go.
Get out of your mind. 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 Get out of your mind.
I like the fact that they're still choosing to use this rope
Get out of your mind.
or this like this fabric.
Get out of your mind.
And they're not just ignoring it. I'm gonna be very honest. The feature that they chose to have really did not carry herself to the level that you have to have groove-wise and pocket-wise to execute a song like out of your mind. Like that song is so aggressive on so many different fronts. So there's a natural expectation that you need to pop off, you know. And did it pop off? I feel like we like popped like a canned drink. We didn't like pop off like the champagne, you know. But honestly, I really liked some of the choices they made. I think it was fun. I like some of their prop usage. All in all, though, I would say this is a pretty average run. Some of the cuts were a little weird. I'm assuming it could be, you know, like a mashup or something with the camera work. I don't know if this was the official camera work of it, because we saw like a random excerpt of people watching. Luckily, there was only one of those, so I did miss. I don't know if I missed or anything, but I'm not really going to factor in the camera work there. So I think they're just prepping, getting ready to go. This hook right here. Yeah, so it's DMX. I think that's the same artist who did Jam Republic's second track, right? It sounds super similar. And if I'm wrong, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. But yeah, it is not the same song though. I do believe it's not the same. I like the build up here. Like, well, let's just start with the formation. I like the buildup of the V, and they went for a full-on cheer stunt from the get-go. fun fact about stunts like this. So I know, at least because I can speak to HHI, I'll only reference that. Whenever people do stunts like that for HHI, fun fact, judges technically do not count those for your overall score because it is not under a particular street style that you are justifying. The only tricks, like back handsprings and tumbling, the only tricks that would equate to something we could possibly measure would be under breaking, because it's under a particular style, and breaking has tricks in it, right? But if you're gonna pull like a cheer stunt like this, a lot of times it's to captivate your audience, but you do not, your score is not influenced whether or not you receive, like you do a trick like that, at least in the HHI rules and regulations. But this isn't that. I do think they popped off real fast there, but if I were, if this was HHI, I wouldn't be allowed to count that for anything unless she fell out of it. Then that would be a deduction. So if you didn't know, it's a fun little thing you could think about. I like they're pretty clean, but I feel like they are making some choices where you do have a lot of unison, which, I mean, of course, it's the very beginning. So, and as we go through, we'll kind of touch more on it. You wanna show a lot of variety. I really like the choice with the fabric where you built, like, we didn't have it, and then we built up to a longer and longer piece, which is super fun. And we are seeing a lot of like peel outs, and we're seeing a lot of formation shifts, which is really helpful in making the choreography more engaging. Nice aerial there. I like the transitions. I really think they're working within their toolkit that they have, and I'm very impressed with that. That's a great job going into another formation. So they're leaving you with a lot of visuals to take a look at and digest, which is really good, and it's a good thing to have. I like that the people who left the stage, they left pretty seamlessly, which was really nice. I love that part, and then boom, that freeze part was sick. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. There's this little fabric right here in the back, but I didn't take notice of it until I was stopping and looking at it. So I don't know if that was purposely left there or somebody dropped it. I'm not sure, but I like that, da-da-da-da, and then they created a line. That was really fun. Do I think everybody's range of their arms is as clean as they need to be? No, but I really do like some of their choices. It's really helping them in other aspects of the routine. Love the tricks here, super fun. Yeah. I like the camera work there, it was a fun choice. Now they're taking it, and now we're getting to really see this fabric for the first time. The lighting really helped this. I like what they were doing. I think they were creating a kind of oval shape, like a opening. That was fun. I like the add-on where she started it and then they joined in. That was good. Felt great. Yeah, melt outs, fun. I love that ripple that happened, that peel out with everybody. That was super. Actually, I would call it a cannon. The arrows, so we're going over into, that's actually a very gimmicky way to do a point. I love that, actually. So they're doing a little bit of locking. I think the locking was a nice little feature here. But I will say, if we didn't have that arrow and we just had everybody looking, it would have been not difficult, but it would have been trickier for us to be able to see who our features were for that part. So I feel like the ones who were featured, and we had our two lockers, right, who demonstrated some of their nuance of their craft, which I love whenever people do that. Just be mindful to really do something that brings main dancer energy for that part, so the energy doesn't drop at all. You want to keep the energy where you want it to go, and if you drop the energy, not saying that the timbre of the music or the movement quality gets to more chill, I'm saying the energy of captivation, of how you want your audience to digest your information and how you want everybody to be engaged in what you're doing. Don't drop the engagement. And so that would be my overall note for just this section. The prop really helped, but if we were just looking at the features, the energy would have, the engagement would have dropped significantly, I think, there. That was fun. I like that they went together. Camera work really helped here. I don't know if they tie this together, if this is a new fabric, but I love the utilization here into the jump rope. That's really fun. I do think overall the arms really need some work in the cleanliness, like making sure everybody's on the same page with them. But I really like a lot of the choices they're making. I love the break off here with somebody going, and there's a reverb or a rebound happening with them in the lift. That's really fun. Now I will say this, honestly, her being introduced, I don't know who she is, so I'm just gonna treat her, she's just a featured dancer. I do feel like her outfit, I wish that it was red, or it was something that was more complementary to what was happening. But she could still stand out. So that's my big note for this. That's my first not as cohesive thing about it. I would say their mashup sounds wonderful. I love it. Yeah. So how she starts, it looks good, it's just fine, but just note that my note for her is gonna be, it really feels that she's kind of isolating this upper part of her body a little too much. Yeah, like how she's holding. A lot of times when you are a feature in something, you have to really open up your space and you have to showcase yourself. In a mega crew, you have to present yourself. Great example is royal family, you know what I mean? Stage presence is huge there, and you have to really make sure you're captivating your audience. Your name is not enough sometimes for these things, because I don't know who she is, right? So I'm just being honest. I'm saying like she's holding her own fine, but do I think that she's keeping the engagement where it needs to be? No. So that's my big note here. It just looks like she's marking certain parts when you really should not be marking it, especially before they get out of your mind. Now this right here, that should have, I would have deducted her as a minor fall for that trick. I don't think she technically landed it. When you land it, you want to land on both feet, and you don't want to have to put extra body parts down. And you can tell based on how somebody shifts outside of the flip on whether or not they completed it. So if, you know, because this is kind of fun for me, or like projecting what would happen if I saw this in this case, this is how it would be scored. That right there would have been a minor fall, and they would have received I believe it's a 0.25 deduction for that. But they don't do deductions like that here. They do like, do you meet your criteria? Who had the best concept? That kind of stuff. So that doesn't really matter. This is fun for me. This is just for fun. But that kind of trick right there. Also, there was a lot of time wasted waiting for that flip to happen versus they look, and then as this is happening, they flip. So there's no dead space. It really felt like this was happening, and then we were waiting for the flip because there was a spotlight. So that's my only note there. They should have done it a lot faster. Yeah. And then it cut. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm just gonna not worry about that right now, because I don't know if this was just this video, because remember, this isn't like the Mnet version. It's just the video that I was finding, and this is what we're working with. So we're just gonna ignore that. With a kick over. Yep, I think that lift was fine. Lose it. Boom. So they're really trying to introduce that crump pocket a little bit more. I think they're doing pretty good, but it's very basic. Right. But I love what their outside people are doing, where they're going back, and they're making really fun choices, and I think that's really working for them in this entire mega crew. But we've already seen this formation, so that'll be my first thing I note. That's not as creative as what we've seen already, because we've already seen this formation. Maybe they're approaching it and attacking it in a different way, but when you have an X amount of time, part of the creativity is you wanna branch out, show us how well you use the stage, as well as how many different formations are you able to make and transitions. You know, so they're doing fabulous on the transitions though. Definitely some of the best in choices. Yeah, and so that's that fluorescent fabric. It's super fun. I love that they're really trying to hit that energy. Out of your mind. I like the line that's being made here, which is fun. So all in all, their formations are great. I love the little clumps here with everybody. So it feels like everybody has a place at all times. But I'm gonna be honest, she is not hitting this with any sense of lower body groove, and it bothers me a lot. I would say neither is this dancer. If you just take a look here, they're just hitting here versus get out of your mind. Like this part pop off, you know, and they're not popping off. It just feels like they're doing choreo. So I think that's like my biggest, I think this is my biggest complaint. It's just that little part right there. It was built up so well, mind, boom, and then it just, look, it just feels like, guys, I mean, I feel like I'm not nice about it. Like I feel very brutal, but I know, I mean, I'm trying to come at this from like this is, you know, she may be, I don't know. I just don't feel like this section was it. For the sole reason of our two dancers right there. They are not keeping me engaged. They're making me go, oh man, I really wish they went for it. And that's something you don't want. Yeah, but my center dancer really picked up the energy there. Like, that was better. I like that they were building over here on the side, on the left side. Yeah. Melting out, yep. Yep, and that's how they chose to finish, which is fun. Is it a bit underwhelming? Possibly, but I really liked a lot of choices that they made here. Okay, if I were to compare this one to what I've already watched, which is Holy Bang, I would place this one probably a little bit, I think, formations, a lot of other aspects. I would say movement quality, I really liked Holy Bangs, but I say the criteria of a mega crew, like basic criteria of a mega crew that I go off of, not HHI standard, but like just in general, what I do when I look at a large group, I think that they presented more execution of other facets. I say if Holy Bang wasn't as in unison as much, I think I would have placed them higher. But I would say Hook, I'd place them a little bit higher for the choices and creativity of their transitions and their formations. So yeah, let's go ahead and we're gonna move on to our next crew. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Street Woman Fighter content, season 1 and season 2, I will have it on my Patreon as I edit these. If you're watching this on YouTube, good chance this has already been out for a week to 2 weeks already, earlier, prior to the release of this here. And so if you're somebody that wants to get in on the action as it happens, Patreon is a great place to look. But if you're totally fine with being patient and waiting it out, it will show up here eventually. I will say there's a couple things from season 1 that are blocked from YouTube. YouTube just doesn't want me to upload it here. So I do have some blocked content from the first season, like I believe as of right now I have a K-pop challenge, YGX versus Want. That is not playable on YouTube, but it is on Patreon. If you really want to see my thoughts on that one, you can check it out there. But yeah, thank you guys again, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Give you everything, anything, baby, can you handle it? More than